Jackman just lit a fire under the entire industry, and at the center of it all, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Yep, them, the same couple we've all obsessed over with.
Blake Lively could do so much better than Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
whoa. Whoa. Actually, kinda. I mean, Jesus, right? I mean, yeah.
Hugh Jackman wants to bury the fact that he was with Blake Lively the night of the And Us premiere on the red carpet, while Justin Baldoni was allegedly banished to the basement.
So, Hugh Jackman just spilled the tea about how Taylor Swift warned him not to fall for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' Sinister plan, and how this might have saved him from getting dragged into their legal mess. Hugh is probably somewhere biting his fingers in regret because he's finding out in real time that Blake and Ryan will do anything and step over anyone to get what they want. Blake's lawyers are throwing subpoenas at everyone, and word on the street is that Hugh is next to get dragged into the matter. Not just that, but allegedly, Blake has been conniving with content creators and bloggers to spread gossip about Hugh, Taylor, Justin Baldoni, and anyone even remotely connected to the case. It's clear she's willing to burn it all to the ground to win. And sadly for Hugh, he's getting caught in the crossfires. But what does Hugh really know about this case? And why do Blake and Ryan seem desperate for him to be on their side? Let's get into it.
Hugh Jackman confronted with Blake Lively questions, and this is how he reacted.
Hey Hugh, any thoughts on Blake Lively winning her lawsuit? Any thoughts?
Yes, I've got your.
Hugh, I just have one question, Hugh. Do you have any thoughts on Blake Lively?
All the best, man. Have a good day. Have a good day.
How did you know that she was going to win her lawsuit, Hugh?
Have a great day.
As the Lively Baldoni legal drama unfolds, it's becoming obvious that Blake is desperate for a win, even if it means dragging her best friends into a legal drama that has nothing to do with them. And now, Hugh is next on the list of people going on the chopping block for Blake's legal drama. As y'all probably know, Hugh is likely going to get subpoenaed by Blake's lawyer in relation to the Justin Baldoni case. But according to an insider, Hugh doesn't exactly know anything relevant to the case. Dragging his name into it is just for media attention. The insider revealed that neither Taylor Swift nor Hugh Jackman know anything about what's going on. They added that claims about them being subpoenaed are smoke and mirrors to distract from the case. But that's not even the worst part. Shortly before Hugh's name started getting thrown around in the Lively Baldoni legal drama, somebody warned him about associating himself with Blake and Ryan because they only look out for themselves. And that person is none other than Taylor Swift, Blake's former bestie and the godmother to her 4 kids. Y'all might remember that around the time that Blake and Ryan started facing even more intense media backlash, Hugh Jackman suddenly appeared in their lives as the supporting bestie. He was there at every red carpet event, spotted hanging out with them, and appeared to be playing the support system role perfectly. Well, it turns out that it wasn't just a coincidence. Blake and Ryan had allegedly dragged Hugh into their lives so he could make them look good in the media and maybe turn the media heat down a little bit, and guess what? It worked, at least for a while. Hugh Jackman has a solid fan base who will go to bat for him. So, being seen to be besties with Hugh bought Blake and Ryan hundreds of thousands of supporters from every corner of the world. However, it was around this time that Taylor pulled him to the side and warned him about Blake and Ryan. Taylor saw right through the whole bestie shtick, and she didn't want Hugh to go through the same thing she went through in the name of friendship. Taylor apparently warned Hugh that Blake and Ryan don't make friends, they form alliances, and once you're no longer useful to them, they throw you under the bus or step over you and move on to their next alliance. For some context, Taylor isn't just coming from a place of hatred or pettiness because she knows exactly what she's saying when she talks about being friends with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. As you guys know, Taylor has been dragged into this case almost from the beginning. After it was revealed that Blake had been name-dropping her in conversations with Justin Baldoni to threaten him, Taylor was heartbroken. She was clearly not a fan of being referred to as Blake's dragon. As if that wasn't bad enough, the next thing Taylor knew, she was being subpoenaed in relation to a case that she knew nothing about. Taylor was upset, and according to reports, she felt used and humiliated. Although the subpoena eventually got squashed, the whole thing changed Taylor and Blake's relationship for good. Taylor decided she didn't want to be so close to someone who was willing to use her to fight her own battles without even having the courtesy of giving her a heads up. Oh, but here's where it gets more interesting. See, the thing that finally ruined their relationship for good was Taylor finding out through her lawyer that Blake Lively, her supposed best friend, was blackmailing her. According to reports, Blake Lively threatened to leak Taylor's private text messages and embarrassing moments to get Taylor to side with her in the Justin Baldoni lawsuit. It would turn out that the whole reason why Taylor was subpoenaed by Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, was that they had evidence that Blake had been pressuring Taylor to publicly support her. Brian Friedman revealed that the subpoena was to obtain information relating to witness tampering and evidence spoliation, specifically that Lively had attempted to coerce Swift into publicly siding with her. The court document added that Justin Baldoni's lawyers received information that Ms. Lively requested that Taylor Swift delete their text messages. messages, which, according to inside sources, may have contained details from over a decade of friendship, relationships, and private confidences. Apparently, Blake's lawyer, Michael Gottlieb, had contacted Taylor's attorney and demanded that Taylor release a statement of support for Blake, intimating that, if Taylor refused to do so, private text messages of a personal nature in Blake's possession would be released. This was the final straw for Taylor, embarrassing her, dragging her name through the mud, making the blogs gossip about her over something she wasn't involved in, all those she could forgive. But threats and blackmail, their friendship could never recover from that. It was also at this point that Taylor realized that no matter how much Blake tried to act like she was a good friend, deep down, she would always put herself first. So there was no way Taylor was going to watch another person go through the same thing with Blake's fake friendship. But here's the interesting part. Blake used Taylor's text to threaten her, but at the same time, she has been trying to keep those texts from Justin Baldoni's legal team. It's like she knows that there's stuff in there that will implicate her if they ever come to light. Better yet, it could be that there's nothing in there, which would expose Blake as a liar, because she previously claimed that Taylor and her discussed the It Ends With Us film. Either way, it is not a good look. But get this, the judge in this case, U.S. District Judge Lewis Lyman, finally ruled that Justin Baldoni's team could have access to all of Taylor and Blake's texts. The judge wrote, given that Lively has represented that Swift had knowledge of complaints or discussions about the working environment on the film, among other issues, the requests for messages with Swift regarding the film and this action are reasonably tailored to discover information that would prove or disprove Lively's harassment and retaliation claims. This ruling sent Blake's team into a frenzy because it would expose her either as a liar or as a terrible friend. But the worst part of it is that Taylor is once again being dragged through the mud just because Blake put her into the spotlight, and this explains why she felt that she had to warn Hugh Jackman. Taylor wasn't looking to destroy their friendship or anything like that. She just didn't want anyone to experience Blake's conniving side and have their names dragged endlessly through the media. Oh, but here's where it gets messier. See, Blake and Ryan have been making some sinister moves that have left everyone shocked, including their close friends, like Hugh Jackman. You might have heard that Blake recently withdrew 2 of her claims against Justin Baldoni that have to do with emotional distress. So, according to reports, Blake dropping these claims is not just because her lawyers think that's the best idea. In fact, this move was a response to Justin's team asking the judge to compel Lively to identify her medical and mental health care providers, signing a HIPAA release to open up access to her therapy notes and pertinent medical info. Now, why did Justin's team need all this information? Well, if y'all recall, part of Blake's claims was that Justin made her feel a certain way by commenting on her weight and health. So Justin's people needed these records to verify these claims. However, rather than submit those records, Blake played a sinister card by withdrawing the claims that have to do with her health records. Essentially, she chose to let go of those claims because she didn't Justin Baldoni's team to go snooping around and unearth her lies.
Praise the Lord, she is healed! This week, Blake Lively withdrew her claims of emotional distress in her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. Now, Blake has been asking the judge to dismiss her from Justin Baldoni's lawsuit, and now she's withdrawing these claims after they asked her to provide some evidence. So Blake was suing Justin for intentional infliction of emotional distress and negligent infliction of emotional distress, meaning he wanted to hurt her and he also did so negligently. And after Baldoni's team said, okay, prove it, show us your emotional distress, she said, LOL, judge, JK, never mind, I take it back.
As if things couldn't get any shadier, Blake's lawyers requested for the right to refile those claims at a later date. So Justin's people ask for documents and Blake withdraws some claims just so she doesn't have to give the documents up. Meanwhile, she plans to wait it out and then spring those claims on Justin when it's convenient for her or when she feels like his lawyers are not going to request the documents anymore. Yeah, something seems fishy there. But wait, it gets crazier. Word on the street is that Blake and Ryan have been secretly teaming up with content creators, influencers, and bloggers to spread misinformation about Justin Baldoni. But that's not all. Apparently, she also has these people spreading lies about her friends Taylor Swift and Hugh Jackman, all in a bid to get them to support her publicly. Allegedly, one of the people on her payroll is Dr. Leslie Dobson, a forensic psychologist and self-appointed expert on the Lively Baldoni saga. Now, just like any other internet user, Dr. Dobson has shared her opinions about the legal drama. However, people started wondering if she was secretly working with Blake when she started saying some things about Justin that weren't exactly true. In most of her videos about the case, it seems obvious that she's trying to stretch the facts to fit whatever narrative Blake is trying to push.
She was like a month away from 18, so it was an essay. I would be a rich lady, and that is why I believe Blake Lively. I believe that she was SA'd, SH falls under SA in the law. I believe it's true. And the statement she just came out with, or her lawyers, is true. I don't really like Blake Lively. So I thought. Well, in this 80-page complaint, she details how he hired a sophisticated PR team to ruin her reputation, and they did an excellent job. They actually looked at TikTok, they looked at social media platforms.
And just like Blake, she sometimes appears like she's making fun of the whole case, like it's not something very serious.
Oh, I forgot to mention, yes, Baldoni's lawsuit was dismissed, but the New York Times was dismissed too. So Friedman, lawyer, you getting what, 40, 50,000 a week? Everything just got dismissed?
There have also been rumors about Justin Baldoni SAing people in college, being a terrible boss at work, and manipulating people. But according to sources, many of the people spreading this information have been paid by Blake to do her dirty work. Journalist Kirsty Flaw recently revealed on her channel, Fly Awesome Talk, that she has receipts proving that Blake has been having people spread false rumors about Justin Baldoni. Remember those supposed HR complaints that had timestamps and names suspiciously redacted? Well, according to her, Blake was the one who orchestrated these complaints being formed out of thin air and leaked to the media.
The legal documents and Baldoni's team wants all communication that Blake Lively's team had with her, because she's been spreading these crazy rumors about Justin Baldoni having SA'd people in college. And also she's the one who sent fake HR complaints to some of my colleagues or my other content creators here. One of them, Donna Bowling, who is behind A Daily Dose of Donna here on YouTube. And she explained in a video a few days ago that she received those fake HR complaints from Dr. Leslie Dobson, who said she had received them from Sony. And it all turned out, as I talked about in the video yesterday, that they were fake.
And here's the irony. While allegedly working with people to spread lies on social media, Blake turned around to accuse Justin of clandestine communications. According to YouTuber Perez Hilton, Blake's team claimed that Justin and his people were using some underhanded tactics to leak sensitive information to the press and the bloggers. To avoid leaving a paper trail, they'd allegedly upload court documents to a server and share the password or make it accessible to everyone. This way, journalists or content creators can access it without there being any concrete evidence that it was Justin's team that leaked it.
1. The Wayfarer parties should identify the email accounts provided to third parties. The Lively Reynolds parties request each Wayfarer party to identify any email account from May 1st, 2024 to date in which any third party, including but not limited to content creators or the media, had access for the purpose of communicating information of any kind, including messaging, talking points, guidelines, scripts, or other information regarding Miss Lively, Mr. Reynolds, the digital campaign, the CRD complaint, or the actions. As counsel explained on several occasions, the Lively Reynolds parties believe that the Wayfarer parties have engaged in covert tactics to communicate with third parties in a manner... Oh, this is juicy. Oh, this is good. The Wayfarer parties have engaged with third parties in a manner to avoid leaving a paper trail, such as by placing information in a draft folder or other email repository and providing a third party with viewing access to the folder or email, which enables the third party to view the information without leaving a digital trace. Wow! And they tell the judge in bold and italics, the Wayfarer parties have never denied that they have engaged in clandestine communications.
Now, it's not clear whether or not these claims are true. However, fans thought it was ironic for Blake to accuse Justin of doing the same thing that she's doing. The double standards are jumping out. Speaking of Perez Hilton, Blake's latest trick is slamming more people with subpoenas. And the latest people on her list were Perez Hilton and, believe it or not, Candace Owens. Both Perez and Candace have openly expressed their distrust for Blake, and it's safe to say they're not rooting for her in this drama. However, they both denied receiving any formal notice or court document. Apparently, Blake is just using using this to gain clout by dragging famous people's names through the media, just like she did with her friend Taylor and Hugh Jackman. So, it's no surprise that Taylor decided to warn Hugh about Blake's shady ways. However, it's still not clear whether Hugh is going to borrow a leaf from Taylor's book and take a step back from his relationship with Blake and Ryan Reynolds, or if he's going to remain a loyal friend and deal with the consequences if and when they betray him. While we wait for Hugh Jackman's next move, let us know what you think about this drama. What are your thoughts on Blake backstabbing her friends? And do you think her and Ryan's friendship with Taylor and Hugh can ever be fixed? Leave a comment down below and don't miss out on this next video.